to get down there right here and right now to kick off our top 8 at GP Birmingham. The format standard. Let's get to it. Hello, my friends, and welcome to live coverage of the top 8 of GP Birmingham. The format is standard. You're in the booth with me. It's Riley Knight, and alongside me, it is the French Hall of Famer, Raphael Levy. Raph, thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Happy to be here with you for this top 8.
And we have Luke Southworth on your screen on black-red vehicles, one of the 6 people who made the top 8 with this archetypal variations thereof. Leo Lahanen, on the other hand, on white-blue control. Well, he is someone that you think is actually in a great spot here moving into this top 8, given the field that he's facing. White-blue control in a good position, Raph.
I think white-blue control is well positioned to beat all these black-red vehicles, especially because, like, on in-game ones, black-red will have a lot of removals that they won't be able to cast at all because Leo is not running any creatures.
Actual 0 creatures in his entire list. 4 copies of History of Benalia in the board. I mean, if that counts. But, yeah, a lot of dead removal in the deck of Luke Southworth right now. So his work is cut out for him. And after an Essence Scatter following him by a Gideon of the Trails here, and that Dragon Skull Summit is not doing any damage.
If there was something alive behind the skull, even behind this Dragon Skull, I would not deal any damage.
Luke Southworth, however, using the opportunity, look at this, sneaking through this Karn through the counter magic, and I have to say that looks a lot tidier than that Gideon of the Trials.
Well, I don't know, because now Leo can attack into Karn here, and if he has yeah.
So Gideon in effect doing 2 damage to Karn there, or 1 damage to Karn, I should say, rather than 4, thanks to the construct token. But it's unusual, I think it's fair to say, for the well, there you go. Okay, Venus Apprentice coming off the top there from the Karn. It's unusual for a huge sorcery speed threat like Karn to actually resolve against white-blue control. I think that's fair to say, at least, Raph.
Yeah, that's right. But Gideon can keep the Karn from growing too big. That's his only way to actually attack on the battlefield, to attack Karn on the battlefield.
Inventor's Apprentice, the follow-up here for Southworth. Not a great play in the face of this oncoming Gideon. He needs to find a way to contest it meaningfully. And it looks like Lahanen has something he wants to do here. Yes, it's going to be a Field of Ruin to knock out that Dragon Skull Summit. I've noticed Lahanen has been very, very aggressive with the activation of those Fields of Ruin.
But I don't know if you saw Leo's hand, but he has Search for Ascanta. So that's another card in his graveyard to flip the search.
So another reason for him to try to get cards in the bin there.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to just keep the Field of Ruins here. There's no utility land in Luke's main deck. So might as well just crack it as soon as possible. Get another blue source in play. Get another card in the graveyard.
Very pleased to see that Luke Southworth is running the matching basics there. Better stuff from some of the players we've seen in the feature match area. It looks like, I think Lahanen is also doing the same thing.
And Teferi.
So huge tap-out plays here for Lahanen. And it looks like the Inventor's Apprentice is going to be tucked away here. And this is not good stuff for Southworth now, as we see Gideon activate and head in towards Karn. So Lahanen is just firing on all cylinders here. It's rough stuff for him.
What? No. This guy's
exiled with a silver counter.
Oh, yeah, right. It's that's not the one that got like that.
No. So Southworth
sent
now
back to the deck.
He does have a Glory Bringer. Nice answer there to the Gideon. He does need to deal with this Teferi. This is unlike what we've seen from white-blue control, which is very happy to play less of a tap-out role in this format. But right now, Southworth is, well, he's landing his blows when he can.
Yeah, that line was very aggressive. Playing Teferi, attacking the Karn, and that left him very open to a Glorybringer or even a Bomat Courier. But we have the list of we have Luke's list. Does he? He plays them.
He is indeed playing them.
So
he's on level 1 vehicles, not level 2. Hasn't quite got his advanced driving license just yet.
I don't know. Playing that Teferi was very aggressive here.
Mm.
He could have just attacked Karn. I don't think Luke would have blocked. Or maybe he would have blocked, but
I think he would have blocked.
he would have blocked. That would have been a free card. And now we just lost Gideon for no reason.
For nothing, essentially, because
Yeah.
this 4-4 is still hustling and bustling.
And now he's just going to lose his Teferi as well.
Lahonen plays the search for Azcanta, comes down, Teferi untaps 2 lands, and now all of a
Oh,
sudden,
no, he has settled the wreckage, so...
Southworth in a position to try to shift into top gear. Attacks with the Glory Bringer, and it's a settle the wreckage, as you said there, Raf. All right, so...
It's all good. All good in the... All good in the wood.
All good in the wood?
All good in the wood.
Southworth finds a mountain here after that Glory Bringer was effectively hit by a Path to Exile. And we'll see what his next move is. Once again, Lahonen is more or less tapped out, so Southworth does have the opportunity to land another big threat here. Something like a Chandra would be real nice, although she can't go after Teferi anymore. And he's got a Chandra. There you go.
It's pretty good. Chandra
pretty
cannot
good.
damage planeswalkers anymore.
No, a bit of a nerf here for the old Chandra. As oh, gonna just cast that one. How about that? One drop off the top. Easy game.
1-2? 1-2 for 1?
Little nerd ape now for Southworth. As we go back to Lahonen. Southworth doing his best Gary Campbell impersonation with those 45-degree taps on the mountains. He was out with the Scots last night, celebrating, raising the wrist there in honour of the Scottish Godfather who took out the trophy yesterday. What a momentous night of Magic it was. And Southworth, cool, calm, collected. Look at him go, ready to get it done.
Yeah, you can't leave white-blue control and tap too many times with Teferi. As in the next turn or in 2 turns, Search for Azcanta is going to flip. And then Teferi is
drawing 3 cards a turn.
3 cards a turn. And that's...
Yep. So Lahonen here opting to stick an extra couple of loyalty on his Teferi by casting another one and drawing another card as well. And he gets to untap 4 lands, actually.
That's
actually
really
pretty.
good.
That's actually pretty
really
good. Yeah, that's actually really, really good.
He's aggressive with Teferis.
Yeah.
He wants them in play.
He wants them in play. He wants them on high loyalty now. But Southworth does get to untap with a Chandra. The problem here is that Lahonen has a nice full grip of cards and a lot of mana to use here. So 2 damage upstairs. Of course, again, that damage can no longer be redirected under the new rules.
Oh, and so good. Like playing the second Teferi puts 1 Teferi in the graveyard, making it 6 cards in the graveyard, flipping the Search for Azcanta next turn.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's got anything he can play here, for example, a Disallow.
No, it doesn't matter. It will flip next
Oh,
turn.
he's already got 6 cards.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were saying
because of the Teferi.
Yes, sure.
Oh, that's so good.
I thought you were saying the Azcanta would put the 6th one in, but no, 6 cards already. So
That's 6 cards already.
Easy game.
Even if Luke doesn't do anything, it's going to be flipped.
So that means that potentially, oh dear, this is not going to end well.
Oh man, six mana sorcery.
Yeah,
that usually doesn't work very
and there's
well.
going to be a syncopate as well. So Lahonen
for 1.
still has. Oh dear, Lahonen still has 2 counter spells in his.
I think we're in for a treat here,
hand.
because look at these:
So
Abrade, Cut Ribbons. These are pretty dead cards in
pretty
Luke's hand.
bad cards. And what we're going to see here now, Raf, potentially, is an activation of Azcanta, right, to tap it.
Yep.
An activation of Teferi.
Yep. So that's 2 extra cards.
2 extra cards. And then that will untap the Azcanta, which can then be tapped again to use its ability. We're going to see Lahonen do exactly that here. So this is potentially 4 cards being added to his hand every turn. Blink of an Eye, Fumigate, and looks like a Seal Away at the bottom of the hand there.
I gotta say, I like this deck more and more.
Yeah, man, this seems to be really well positioned against black-red vehicles in particular. They just don't come out of the gates fast enough.
No.
They don't?
And their big spells are Karn. And Karn doesn't do enough. Glory Bringer doesn't do enough.
Lahonen untaps 2 lands thanks to the delayed trigger from Teferi, Hero of Dominaria.
And so many removal that don't do anything.
And Southworth, Spire of Industry off the top again, get you for 2. Looks like Lahonen's going to respond here to the activation of this Chandra.
And he has a Disallow, though, just to counter Chandra Ultimate.
He does indeed, as a Scrap Heap Scrounger comes down now for Southworth. Not a great target for a counterspell here. Southworth does have at least 1 creature in his bin.
And a black mana.
And yes, indeed, that Canyon Slough enabling it to come back. Here's an attack now with the Inventor's Apprentice. And Mr. Fury's going to take a little bit of a licking here. But he takes a licking and keeps on ticking here as we go back to Lahonen, who activates Search for Azcanta.
Yeah, no, it was on 5 and took 2.
So it took 2 down to 3.
Be on 3.
Down to 3.
No, right. No, on the right. Yes. End of turn. Scant activation. Pull from tomorrow. That's gonna be the later game.
So let's see now what's up with Lahonen, who is continuing to fire on all cylinders.
You're playing a land every turn.
Drawing extra cards.
Drawing extra cards.
Drawing even more extra cards.
So Luke is on 2 cards and, well, what could be an important threat on the board, but Chandra at 7 against double disallow. That's not going to do much. That's not going to do enough.
Up to 4 now. Draws a card. Going to untap 2 lands. Doesn't activate that Search for Azcanta. Obviously has other plans for his mana for this turn. Also, his hand is like super full. Doesn't need any extra cards as it is. Memorial to Genius, just the one of here in Lahonen's list. Going to untap it using the Teferi's ability there.
Oh wow! I'm not using his Azcanta this turn. No need.
So untaps 2 lands here. Makes it very obvious which lands are being untapped there.
Yeah, because
Wiggling and jiggling them about.
You have to untap 2 lands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you don't have targets of your own, you have to target your opponents.
Your opponents, yeah.
Not that it's likely to matter in a situation like this, but all the same, you got to do the cooking by the book. We head back to Luke Southworth now, who is probably feeling the effects of this match slipping further and further away from him. Smart stuff from him. Going upstairs with Chandra once again. And another land off the top. I bet he's happy. That's the 3rd running land he's hit from the Chandra. Happy to be filtering them away and getting some use out of them. You're not wanting to draw land if you're Luke Southworth right now, huh?
Hmm?
You're not wanting to draw any extra lands right now.
I don't think so. I think you want to draw gas every turn. All right. That's also pretty tough. Seal away on the only artifact Luke controls, making the Apprentice even smaller than it already was.
Heart of Kieran now the play for Southworth. Traditionally a card that's actually quite good against control decks, but Lahonen does have the answer should he choose to employ it here. 3 mana.
I think he's going.
And going to disallow.
Let's get counter first. All right.
So disallow the Heart of Kieran. That does leave a single disallow up for Southworth's Chandra here, as you can see on 62 loyalty. Activation of Azcanta the Sunken Ruin now.
And the important thing is that Lahonen does not have to worry about anything at the end of Luke's turn. Most of Luke's spells are sorcery speed.
Mm-hmm.
So he can just tap his Azcanta end of turn and not fear anything.
Doesn't have to worry about things like Lightning Strike or the like here.
Yeah, Lightning Strike on Teferi, for example.
Let's see what's up next here for Lahonen. Drawing extra cards with Teferi. Doesn't take long for Teferi to really just bury your opponent in card advantage here.
Full of ruins to take care of the last black source in case it's relevant. Oh yeah, and he can commit Chandra on top and then Field of Ruins.
Oh, to
shuffle it away.
To make Southworth shuffle it away here. Keeping that disallow for another day here.
Yeah,
Southworth draws.
Next card is going to be good for Luke. Next card is Chandra.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good draw.
If he gets to draw it,
see if he can actually
it's
draw
be
it.
Good.
Unlikely, it seems, at this stage.
Wow, his hand is double Abrade, Disintegration.
And this is what happens, man. This is another source of card advantage for these control decks, because not only has Lahonen drawn 50 or 60 million more cards than his opponent, he's also stranded dead cards in Southworth's hand.
Oh, the Swamp. I don't think every black red deck is playing Swamp, but this is Martin playing a Swamp? It's pretty bad with Churn Whirler.
Mart User is not playing a Swan.
No, yeah, that's... Well,
Pretty good in the face of a field ruin.
but they had the list, so he knew Luke was running a Swan, but it's not always the case.
But that obviously wasn't to colour screw Southworth there. That was obviously there to shuffle away that Chandra.
So now the interesting thing is, when will Luke give up? So does he know he's already lost? He probably has the feeling he's already lost, but how do you think his chances are now? How do you think thinks his chances are now?
The other thing about these matches is that they are untimed. So here, I mean, we've seen draws with Leo Lahonen or matches that have gone to time that he's won 1-0 on coverage recently, but that's not going to happen here. This will be played till the final whistle blows, and as a result, I mean, Lahonen just has to have the long game working in his favour. I mean, Southworth, he didn't have a sniff.
No, there's no way Southworth gets back in this game. This is
it's all over Red Rover.
We're just wondering when he will give up.
Well, let's talk about the ways that Lahonen has to win the game then, shall we? A couple of options for him. He can cast Memory out of his bin to shuffle Gideon of the Trials back into his list, cycle through his deck again thanks to Teferi, and draw and play and attack with a Gideon 5 times. That's option 1. Option 2 is mill out the opponent with a single copy of Teferi, putting itself back on the top of the library every turn as the only card left in the library. Teferi can actually target himself with his -3, which means if you've got an empty library, Teferi put himself back on the top of it, and then you draw him, play him, -3, and so on and so forth. And this is very good in conjunction with a Teferi emblem, which of course means every draw step annihilates one of your opponent's permanents if they have any left at all. So effectively, those are the only 2 ways for Lahonen to win the game here.
I think my prediction is that Luke is going to concede as soon as Teferi gets the emblem. That's my prediction.
Some results now from the other tables. We've got actual Game 1 victories across all 3 other tables. Got a result on each table to bring to you here. So between Etienne Boisson on Black-Green Constrictor against Simon Nielsen, whose kryptonite is, of course, his alarm clock. Nielsen did manage to win game number 1. Between Matt Brown and Rasmus Nielsen here, both on black-red vehicles. Matt Brown did also get up here, so 1-0 to him. And finally, between Goncalo Pinto on black-red vehicles and Martin User on black-red vehicles, Martin in his 29th GP Top 8. User, the Czech superstar, has won game number 1. So, game number 1's going the way of Martin User, Simon Nielsen, and Matt Brown. And of course, we're still waiting for this one to lock it up, although it's almost certainly going the way of Leo Lahonen.
It takes a while for Teferi to get to his emblem, but he gets there eventually.
Yep.
Sometimes you say, yeah, but Planeswalkers are not good if they can't protect themselves. Well, Teferi kind of protects itself with the untap 2 lands ability. And the fact that you actually get or draw a card that you can cast on the same turn you cast it. So at 2 mana you have Seal Away. Or you can negate or Instant Scatter. This Planeswalker is great. I think it's one of the best ones, like, ever printed. I would go as far as this.
Is seeing play in Modern, which is
I think it's very playable in white blue. I think it's very
incredible
playable.
To consider, Raf, that this card is seeing play in Modern when Jace the Mind Sculptor,
I think it could be better than Jace. I would go as far as this.
Was recently unbanned.
Yeah, I don't like. Jace in white blue is not actually that good.
The thing is, and this was pointed out to me here, I mean, 5-drop sorcery spells in Modern tend to have to be pretty good to get it done. But this was pointed out to me. This is not a 5-drop. It's a 3-drop. It's a 3-drop you play in turn 5.
Jace is 4, and you never play it at 4. And you just to bounce something.
Yeah.
Like 4 mana Brainstorm is not good.
No. Teferi is just that good, and we may see his rise to eventual dominance begin here at 5 mana. Oh dear, a 5-mana Doomblade here for Lahonen. Coming back to Martin User's 29th GP Top 8, that does tie him.
That's it. We got
we got
a scoop.
We got a Scoopsky there for Luke Southworth there. But what I want to say there about Martin User, this is his 29th GP Top 8, which ties him as the all-time leader in GP Top 8s with
Shuhei
Nakamura. And at GPDC in 2 weeks in Washington, D.C., guess who are on the same team?
On the same team, yeah.
So if they make the top 8 together, they will both go to 30 GP Top 8s together at the same time.
And he has 5 GP wins, and Shuhei has 7.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of work to do to catch up there. In the meantime, while these two players are sideboarding, let's head over and have a look what's happening between Etienne Busson and Simon Nielsen. Black-green Constrictor facing off against black-red vehicles. Now, this black-red vehicles deck, a little bit different. Simon, why don't you talk us through... Oh, sorry, excuse me. Simon's the person on the screen. I'm talking to Raf here. Raf, why don't you talk us through some of the differences between Nielsen's list and Southworth's list here?
So, Bomat Courier, not in Simon's list. So it's maybe inspired by Martin's list. I don't know if they talked to each other before the tournament. I don't think so, because Simon is on my team for the PT. And, Martin is not.
You better not be leaking that information.
Oh yeah. So no Bomat Courier. And what else is different? Let's see. One more Glorybringer. The Rekindling Phoenix in Simon's deck, two copies. Soulscar Mage, also very good with Churn Wheeler, since Soulscar Mage is non-combat damage, I think, and Churn Wheeler would put -1/-1 counters on all the opponent's creatures. And we see here a dragon in the air to take care of Big Liliana.
So the Glorybringer doing work here for Nielsen as we've hit these post-board games. But a Chupacabra is going to take care of the dragon. An egregious flavor violation. But all the same, Death Gorge Scavenger going to get in there. And it's incredible to see in these red aggressive decks the complete decline of Hazoret the Fervent. We do see other powerful 4-drops. We see Rekindling Phoenix. We see Chandra Torch Defiance. But Hazoret nowhere to be seen.
Hazoret is a different deal. Hazoret is better in very aggressive decks. This is not exactly the very aggressive deck that... This is not mono red.
No, it's not. And look at this. Nielsen with 4 cards in hand. Chandra would be very, very bad in this situation.
Hazoret.
Hazoret, sorry. Chandra would be great.
Karn is probably just a little better. It's more defensive, a little more long game oriented than Hazoret.
Attack now. Little doggo getting a pretty clean 2-for-1. Almost.
Chupacabra is a dog.
1.75.
What do you say?
Well, it looks like a dog, doesn't it?
It's not a canine, is it?
It's not a canine, no. It's a beast horror. But it does look like a little dogski.
Dogski? Okay.
A little dogski. It's got 4 legs and a mouth and a... I mean, a lot of creatures have that. I mean, it's not a zebra, I guess.
Zebra?
Well, a zebra has 4 legs and a mouth.
Is a zebra?
Zebra.
Okay.
Depends on which part of the world you're from.
Exactly, yeah.
Blossoming Defense now on the Death Gorge Scavenger.
To dodge the unlicensed integration.
And a double block now for Nielsen. Should be enough to clean up here.
What?
Soulscar Mage is having prowess there, so juiced up to 2 3s. And a nice, neat trade. Here's a pair of snakes, mate. It's a snake. And a Karn in hand for Nielsen. Going to slam this Haymaker here. Let's see what we can find off the top of the deck. Mountain. And Mountain. I'll take this one, says Nielsen.
The other one.
Oh, okay, well, you're going to take the other one, says Etienne Busson. Loving every minute of those hairs that he gets to split.
Not a good position for Nielsen here. It's a very aggressive attack. A Soulscar Mage.
Attacking into those walking ballistas. I mean, it just bounces off, right?
These are snakes. These are...
Sorry, into those snakes. It's got that association ready, you know. You curve your Constrictor into ballista.
So it's a 2-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good. That's a good bluff.
Yeah, nice one. Kind of leaves the Karn.
representing a removal spell here.
Kind of leaves the Karn out in the wilderness, but all the same, the Sign of Urza can hold his own. Oh no, 6 mana it is for Vraska Relic Seeker. Straight upstairs, makes a pirate. This card's huge. Going to be very difficult for Nielsen to overcome. And we do have a final result to offer you from one of the other tables here, as Matt Brown has beaten his opponent Rasmus Nielsen. Both of these players playing black-red vehicles. So
Nice.
GGWP Rasmus Nielsen, but unfortunately, well, I mean, it's a GP top 8. He's going to the Pro Tour. There's no way he's unhappy with that.
Oh, nice peel here. You're missing something here.
What's up?
So Karn revealed cut ribbons and Angrath.
Oh, wow. All right. So cut to
ribbons is going to be very good here.
Cut to ribbons hitting the hand of Nielsen there as Angrath stays hanging out under the Karn.
Oh, wow. So if he plays Magma Spray on the pirate, cut one of the snakes, that would pump the mage, so to a +2. So it'd be 4 damage, and then he would have at least 5 mana.
Well, not going for it here.
No, he's not going for it. He wants to protect his Angrath, his Karn, so he could get
the Angrath. Yeah, sure. All right, here's an Adventurous Impulse for Busson. It's a nice one. Going to find the best card in the top 3. Swamp. Okay. Well,
if that's the best card, it's not.
Bit of a stinker there. Bit of a stone cold stinker for Busson.
Oh, I guess he's keeping the Magma Spray to block in defense.
Busson has a quick read of Angrath the Flame Chain. We haven't seen this card too much, to be honest. Does a whole lot of work, though.
So had he killed the pirate, he would have attacked for 4. Etienne would have been on 8. And he would have been able to fire ribbons for 5. Putting Etienne down to 3. That's interesting. Maybe not the best line, but that's a line. That was a line to consider.
For those of you who may need reminding of exactly what Angrath can do here. +1, each opponent discards a card, loses 2 life. -3, threaten a creature.
Oh, yeah,
and sacrifice it then if it costs 3 or less at end of turn.
Oh, yeah. So Magma Spray targeting a snake. Oh, yes, because with Soulscar Mage,
it puts -1.
Puts -1. There's another. There's another -1/-1 counter.
Yep,
that's right. That's why he didn't go for that. He wanted to kill both snakes.
Back to Nielsen now, as we see Vraska dance down the poop deck and slice that Soulscar Mage into oblivion. Cycle away a Canyon Slough here for Nielsen, and he's going to swap this Karn now for an Angrath, which is going to be a nice one because that can pressure the Chandra.
That's Vraska.
The Vraska, sorry. They look very similar. Both of them have...
One is a woman. The other one is a woman.
Well, they're both... Yeah, sure. But they've both got, hair that doesn't play by the rules.
Right.
Both extremely ferocious.
Taking the pirate and attacking Etienne for 3.
Ooh,
Pirate's
upstairs.
going to be sacrificed, I think.
Pirate's going to be sacrificed to the Angrath here. And Nielsen playing out that land, of course. I think he's preparing for a big ribbons here.
Yeah, so it would be for 6.
Another Adventurous Impulse. Let's see if Busson can find something a little bit better than a swamp. A Gonti. All right. So the Lord of Luxury. Going to come down for 4 mana. Let's have a look at what Nielsen's got going on the top of his library here. Hands over the goods.
Ah, come on. Let us look.
Ah, Busson. Playing those cards too close to the chest for my liking, Raph. Going to keep that one.
A mystery card.
Mystery card. We don't get to see it. And Busson puts those 3 cards on the bottom of Nielsen's library to seal the deal now. And, well, we've still got a Vraska activation to go here. Going to make a little 2/2. A little 2/2.
Un petit 2/2.
Un petit 2/2, pirate. And a Heart of Kirin. Wow, all right. So shields up here for Buisson.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was a nice hit here. With no cards in hand, obviously Buisson wanted to empty his hand out because he knows that Angrath is going to snag that last card.
And deal 2 damage?
Yeah, so 2 damage puts him to 7, and then the Ribbons is, a 1 untapped land away from knocking him straight out the game here.
But how much damage does Etienne have? 4 from the Heart of Kirin. He has 8 damage.
And the Heart of Kirin for Nielsen as well. Can be crewed, of course, by the with a loyalty counter from Angrath the Flame Chained. Nielsen, 1
land away.
Mana away from ending the game on the spot here and ending the match.
Tapped land away.
Canyon Slayer wouldn't do it.
Because I think he's dead. He's dead next turn.
Who's that? Buisson?
I think Simon is dead next turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Heart of Kirin.
So now
shot out of the sky.
The pirate is going to attack Angrath, and the other 2 are going to attack Simon.
Okay. So Nielsen, with an untapped land, unless I'm mistaken, wins the game. So he is an attack now.
I think that's his out. That's untapped lands for the win.
Untapped land to flashback that Ribbons out of the bin here. Cast the Aftermath half of Cut to Ribbons. And Buisson, an all-out attack, Heart of Kirin, Gonti, Lord of Luxury, and a Petit Perron.
Let's see if sleeping an extra hour is worth it.
Yeah, his mental game is so much sharper, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's above the field now.
Yeah, that's it.
He's 1 hour more.
He's had an hour's more sleep.
Some would say you have to go to bed earlier.
I don't know how well rested you need to be to rip a basic land off the top of your library, but we'll see. That's what he wants to do. He's never wanted to draw a basic more. Simon Nielsen, Mr. Red Button Tie, consults the top of his library. Does he have it? Oh, the slow rolls. Look at this. It's Yam Wing Chun in the feature match area, and it is a Dragon Skull Summit. That is going to flash back a Ribbons for 7, targeting you. And Etienne Buisson, poised to turn the game around, but Simon Nielsen stitches together an incredible victory and moves through to the semi-finals. Raphael Levy.
That extra hour of sleep, man. That's what it takes.
That's all he needed. Just rip that Dragon Skull Summit. We're going to head back over now to Table 1. Luke Southworth and Leo Lahonen. Leo Lahonen expected to do pretty well in this very vehicles-dominated metagame. He certainly is the DMV. He's controlling traffic, holding up those red stop signs. And, Raf, you mentioned that you think Lahonen is well-positioned in a field full of vehicles.
I did. And I think he's doing well so far.
White-blue traffic warden?
White-blue traffic warden. Yeah.
Yeah?
He's
got a ring to it.
Is he, or is he an advisor? No, he's not an advisor. He's what? He was a creature card.
Here's Gideon of the Trials now for Lahonen.
So from what we see, Luke has only 1 card left in his hand.
Typically the case when you've got to go all out. Although I do like the position that the black-red deck has post-board a little better than in game number 1, of course. Oh, no, Luke Southworth. What is that mountain doing there, my friend? He's just counted up his lands like, oh, you've got enough. Oh, no, I have to go to the land station, get an extra mountain out. Oh, my goodness. Let me just go into the bathroom and fish one out of the toilet. Southworth, mate, you are better than this, my friend. Goblin Chainwhirler now, putting some pressure on Gideon. But not too much pressure, as we've seen. Very difficult to, very resilient threat, this Gideon here.
Oh, it was settled the wreckage for Walking Ballista here.
We do have the update from the tech from the floor. Apparently, Luke Southworth's mountain, the reason it's mismatched is because it is the mountain in his sideboard. So he remembers exactly which one to take out. I don't know why that is something that he considered.
I would do the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Just to ensure you always take out the same mountain?
Yeah.
Just take out any mountain.
In a 14-round tournament,
yeah,
this is something you can definitely forget.
Oh, you just forget to take out the mountain altogether. Yeah. Okay. So it's not about taking out the exact same mountain.
Taking one mountain.
It's just remembering to take one mountain out. All right.
I could see that happening.
Do you know what I would prefer?
No.
I would prefer you to get, essentially... Oh, no, maybe that wouldn't work. All right, never mind. I was going to say, get a piece of paper, write sideboard on it, and put it in the sleeve with the mountain. That wouldn't work, because then the card thickness is going to be
outside the system.
It's outside the system.
It is.
It's consulting notes
previously.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work. All right.
At some point, you could do that, but not anymore.
All right, never mind. Just play with different art then. All right.
I think that's how it worked.
Southworth now does have the chain whirler on the field in addition to that walking ballista. And the ballista looks like it's going to get busy here. Go after Gideon, down to 2.
And you can feel the control has shifted to Leo's hands here. Attacking for 2 with ballista. That cannot throw away its... what does the ballista get? Get to throw to the opponent's face. What does it get when you pay 4 mana?
Oh, ballista?
Yeah, what does it get?
A +1/+1 counter?
Yeah, but like, what does it represent?
A ballista that's being loaded into it.
Oh, just a so it has like a million.
It's got, well, if you look at the picture of the walking ballista, you can see it's got like a sort of a magazine.
Okay.
Of the ballista sort of lining up to be fired out.
Right.
So the 4 mana is like the wages you pay the ballista mechanic to go and load one in.
So you unload 1 ballista?
Yeah, it costs 4 mana.
Is that the name of the thing they throw?
It's a ballista, yes.
Okay. I thought it was the whole machine that was called the ballista.
I guess it's probably the same.
To be checked.
Yeah, we have to check that one out.
I think what they throw is something else.
To the Google.
Anyway, now they cannot throw away whatever it has, the ammos, whatever they're throwing, cannot be thrown. Like a bolt, maybe?
But it's a pretty big bolt.
Well, that's a big bolt, yeah.
It's a really big bolt. I thought the thing was actually called a ballista.
No, the ballista is the whole thing. When you have a bow, you don't fire bows.
I know, but that's a different thing. I know. I'm not saying a trebuchet can fire trebuchets over 300 kilometers or whatever.
It's sitting pretty, Leo, with the syncopated hand, drawing a Nissan Scatter, sell the wreckage, fumigate. That's just going up to 8 life, just in case.
Southworth didn't activate the ballista in response. Maybe was it bubbled by the Gideon?
No, but the spyglass.
Oh, the spyglass is naming it. Sorry.
It's not only not able to load with bolts.
Oh, it's jammed. Its mechanism is jammed. Okay, it's just a 2/2. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Like you pay the upfront fee, whether each individual bolt is cheaper, right? Because you're just paying XX, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying two mana per bolt. But then you wanted to reload it. I mean, that's wages, that's wear and tear, that's labor on the machine.
Nissan Scatter on the Glorybringer here to save the Gideon.
No glory to be brung today.
This game is not going to take forever.
No,
Gideon is going to town.
Yep, he is romping and stomping here. And now back to Southworth, who is the door is quickly closing on his potential semi-final appearance here.
Closing on his foot to take your expression, to use your expression again.
The door is slamming on his foot. Yeah. He's got his foot in the door, but it's someone is on the other side, like trying to kick it out and slamming the door on it in order for him to get out. And that person is Leo Lahonen, crushing his enemies with this white-blue control list. And here's another Glorybringer. What does Lahonen have to say about it? Settle the wreckage, I think is what he has to say.
Yeah, I think it does nothing. He says, yeah, sure. Resolves.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, pal. And attacking you, says Lahonen, but it is, of course, Settle the Wreckage. And Luke, Southworth, he just knew. He knew he had it.
Functionally, Path to Exile.
Yeah. 4 mana. Bargain. Bargain bin prices. So Lahonen, 3 attacks away now with this Gideon from getting into the semis, but he's down to 1 card in hand. Oh, Teferi. All right, never mind. Never mind. Pack it up.
Look at how he settled in the red zone. The control player settling in the red zone.
Yep.
I think that's
a very aggressive, permanent placement there.
Yeah.
Yes. Here is the hero of Dominaria. Teferi. Better than Jace the Mind Sculptor, according to Raphael Levy. Untap 2 lands, draw a card, and it's back to you now, Southworth. What you got, my friend? You're on 8. You're just 2 turns away. This is going to have to be something very good, and it's a Chain Whirler. Okay. And cycling this irrigated farmland, this could be a very big play, and yes, indeed, it is, Raph. All right.
So it's going to take a little more time.
This is, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, our final match of this quarterfinal stage, as we can confirm for you now. Martin User edges his way towards that sixth GP win here in his 29th top 8 with a straight sets clean victory over his opponent. 2-0. The game's falling thick and fast here for Martin User winning against Goncalo Pinto. Unfortunately, commiserations, Pinto. We will see you, of course, at Pro Tour Spaghetti in Atlanta. Congratulations on a fantastic weekend, but it ends here for you, my friend. Looks like it'll end here for Luke Southworth, unless he can find something special. Khan certainly counts as that, but a syncopate is going to take care of the Scion of Urza once again.
Well, Leo does not have much left.
Can Southworth stage an incredible recovery? Teferi drawing him another card. Land, blink of an eye by the look of things.
Blink of an eye is pretty good. Blink of an eye
pretty good.
Would save Teferi. He might actually play it right away to recast his Teferi and draw a card.
He's a chain whirler.
Fine's okay, I guess.
Not very good with blink of an eye.
No, but he can bounce his
I'll bounce Teferi.
Yeah,
sure.
that's probably what's going to happen here.
And a Glory Bringer as well. This is going to provoke a response from Lahonen.
Unless he wants to bounce the Glory Bringer instead. That's that. Or no.
What do you think?
No. I see.
I've got it. Let me see. I want to see if I've got it.
He's going to bounce Seal away. He's going to bounce Seal away instead.
Okay, that's not what I was going to say. All right. Okay, never mind.
No, but come on.
No. That's honestly not what I was going to say.
You can say that.
I didn't see that line.
I gave it to you.
I didn't see that line. I thought he might let the Glory Bringer attack the Teferi, bounce the Teferi, save himself some life.
Yeah,
save
it's
the
better
Teferi.
with the.
But it definitely did better with the seal away for sure. So Teferi goes back upstairs now. The dragon has been sealed away. 5 mana. We're going to see another Teferi. This is not the first time we've seen Leo do this. Bounce, get that Goblin Chain Whirler out of here. Untap 2 lands. Didn't untap 2 lands? Okay. He had the delayed trigger from the first Teferi. All right. Didn't want to, didn't need to. Back to Lahona now. Upstairs, Teferi. Finds another Teferi.
It's very aggressive with the Teferis.
It's Teferi aggressive.
Nice.
And he's got a fourth. He's got a fifth one and a fourth one in hand. Cast that one as well. Untaps his lands.
I guess on 5 it's good enough on 5.
You didn't tap 4 lands.
He did.
Okay, remember this time. Here's Siege Gang Commander.
I think if I did not had Dice and Scatter, he would have played the other Teferi.
Yeah?
I think so. Well,
try to find something. Full of lands now. You can see Lahonen.
Like he's on nothing now. He's
Bloods in the
Teferi
water
for 6
here.
and nothing else. And
Teferi on 6 lands in hand.
Oh, but there's a Goblin Channel Wheeler, right? Yeah, that's a Channel Wheeler.
Here it is.
Yep. We know about this one.
Teferi down to 5.
Oh, is it going to be...
He's drawing 2 cards a turn, man. So another Teferi in hand.
Is he going to send it away? Oh, yeah, we have a...
Irrigated farmland, cycle away to a cast out. Oh, yes.
Finally something.
The top of line. Finally something.
No, I mean,
he's
been
fourth
doing
Teferi I've drawn. Oh, no. But he's going to tuck that one away. Do you play the second Teferi here as well, Raf? Or the fourth one, I should say?
That's how he's been playing for a while, so I guess that's what he's going to do.
Okay.
Teferi
he only tapped 4 lands for that Teferi.
Did he?
He only tapped 4 lands for that Teferi.
All right, so maybe we can...
Okay, we need to have that looked into right now because he only tapped 4 lands for that Teferi for sure. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference right here and right now, but that definitely happened. So there was it was 2 mana to cycle the irrigated farmland, and there was 4 mana used to cast the Teferi.
He has a pull from tomorrow as well, so
that does matter.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that players need to be very aware of, and as a result,
good catch.
The only thing I can see here is if I've made a mistake is if there are
a land under
hidden under that pile of 4. But it was the 2 plains for the irrigated farmland and the 4 lands there.
Yes.
Oh, the prestige, ladies and gentlemen. Christopher Nolan is in the house. Excuse me. I did not see that glacial fortress hidden under the island. All's well.
Yeah, all's well.
All's well. Okay. But from that viewing position, could not see the 5th land, and so definitely worth checking up on there to ensure that 5 lands were tapped there. Play on.
So this is Teferi number 5. No, number 4, sorry. Number 4 on 5. So whatever we know that Chain Whirler is still looming somewhere. It's not going to do much. Ooh.
Here's a pin, a la now.
Ooh, this one's okay.
All right. In she comes. Brings a Thopter along for the ride here.
He can just fire the pull from tomorrow here. It's between 7 and tap and 12. I don't know if you want to do it for more than 7. Is it relevant?
Going to draw a card now. This Pia, the only thing that Lahonen has to tussle with, and I have to say, geez, Luke Southworth has kept himself in this for a longer time, mate.
Here comes the Field of Ruins to shuffle away the Chin Whirler.
So Lahonen here. He's got all the lands that you can eat in play. We'll see what he wants to do with them here. Looks like he's keeping 5 ready.
For another Teferi?
Another Teferi. Teferi number 4.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, he played all the 3 others are already in the graveyard. So what you play here? Do you a main phase pull? Wow. Surprising that he plays it now and not for 7 on the last turn.
Just gonna have to discard a bunch of cards. I don't know,
especially
man.
if he's looking for a fumigate.
Lahonen has had some pretty unorthodox plays, Raf. He's really played in a way that has made us scratch our heads and go, what is going on here? I mean, tapping out during his main phase to do something like, a 1-for-1 fumigate here, it means that it leaves us going, what is going on? What's going through this guy's head? Having said that, he had an impeccable record through the Swiss. He's here about to secure himself a berth in the semi-finals if all goes well for him. So, I mean, I'm going to stop questioning the way that he's playing these games because he's proven himself to be a stone cold master so far. Here's an Angrath the Flame Chained. It's optimistic from Southworth, I have to say. But given that Lahonen is tapped out, it's going to do something at least.
Well, he's on 6.
Discard a card. Down to 4.
Now he
I guess Lahonen's really tricky decision is which one of the cast outs in his hand does he cast?
And also, keep in mind there's always the Spyglass on the Walking Ballista, so virtually no direct damage from Luke.
So Lahonen averts himself from having, saves himself from having to make that very tricky decision about which one of the many answers he has in hand to the Angrath and just casts a Sorcerer's Spyglass. Doesn't even need to look at Southworth's hand here.
Oh, look at this guy.
Oh, Goblin Chainwhirler.
I've never seen this guy before.
Oh, what does this card do?
How many does he play?
I think 7. Let's have a look at the deck list
number
here.
7 or something.
That must be number 7 here. I think, it wouldn't be far from the 7th one that has entered the battlefield here, thanks to the old Teferi Tuck. Upstairs now with Teferi. 7 loyalty. Here's a Field of Ruin. And Lahonen now with the Gideon. Second one coming in from the board. Going to keep that Goblin Chainwhirler at bay. And now Southworth draws a card, ships the turn. Might have been a Walking Ballista here. Oh no, you just cast it, wouldn't you? It's a big beater. And Teferi edges ever closer to that ultimate. Edges ever closer to propelling Lahonen into the semis. Untaps 2 lands, including that Meandering River.
Oh,
and an extension of the hand from Luke Southworth is going to wrap out the quarters here. Well fought and well battled there by the Englishman on home soil, but ultimately Leo Lahonen with white-blue control takes it home for Team Rock and Roll. And I tell you what, Raphael Levy, if anyone was doubting the power of blue-white control, even in a Goblin Chainwhirler meta, seems to be in a terrific position to really get it done.
Yep, that's still my favorite.
Still your favorite as we head into the quarters because, of course, the semis, I should say, because, of course, we do have more black-white or black-red vehicles lists for him to contend with. Let's remind ourselves of the results here. We had Etienne Busson and Simon Nielsen. We saw Simon Nielsen get up there against his opponent on black-white Constrictor. That's one black-red vehicles deck. We had Matt Brown facing off against Rasmus Nielsen. Both of these players on black-red vehicles. Spoiler alert, black-red vehicles wins the day in the hands of Matt Brown. Luke Southworth, as we saw, just went down to Leo Lahonen on white-blue control there. And Martin User and Carlo Pinto also on a black-red vehicles mirror. There are cars flying everywhere, thick and fast. It is a traffic jam.
The path is paved for the vehicles, but also for Leo to win this
Yes,
tournament.
and this is what your assessment, your prognosis here. Dr. Levy, from the beginning, you've said that you favour the white-blue deck in this situation. So are we just going to see it a clean path sort of push through right the way through to the trophy here?
We've seen Leo beat Martin Juza in the before last round. Pretty convincingly.
Very, very convincingly.
We've seen him win the quarterfinals also pretty convincingly.
Pretty slowly
without really like being worried. So he has 2 more matches against Black-Red with vehicles, and from what it looks, I don't know. I like his chances.
No, well, we'll see how things go. We're going to take a break, my friends. On the other side of it, Tim and Simon will be in to guide you through the semi. So stick around. More Standard coming your way from GP Birmingham. We'll see you soon.